Good Tuesday morning to you. I am Dan Kopp, the CEO of Leading Like a Buffalo and also co-founder of the Enhanced Leadership Project. And joining me today, as always, is Ty Fershing. Good morning, Ty.
Good morning, Dan. As Dan said, my name is Ty Fershing. I am the CEO of Trade Leadership and the other co-founder of the Enhanced Leadership Project, coming to you live from Entebbe, Uganda. That being said, if there is a power outage, which I hope not, and if there is technological problems, I may disappear and Dan will just go ahead and carry it on until I pop back up. So don't be alarmed.
Right on. Well, good to see you again, Ty, as always. Before we get into today's topic, I would like to remind those of you who are engaged with our content, you can always go over on YouTube to our YouTube channel, the Enhanced Leadership Project. If you'd like to join our upcoming cohort for the Enhanced Leadership Project, feel free to reach out to either of us. Our emails are at the bottom of the screen, ty@tradesecrets.com and dan@leadingbuffalo.com. And feel free to DM us on LinkedIn as well. So, as I just said, our topic today is Exposed, the Enhanced Leadership Project, and we are very excited about what we're going to be talking about today. So, Ty and I are happy to announce that we are partnering together, not only the two of us with our companies, but also with the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce to offer the Enhanced Leadership Project. The Enhanced Leadership Project is a cohort-based leadership program, and our first cohort is starting in May. It will be virtual and we'll meet weekly for 9 weeks, and everyone who is viewing this can join. So if you'd like more information, feel free to go on the Wisconsin Veteran Chamber of Commerce events page and you can read more about it, and you can also register. If you'd like to reach out to us directly about this specific cohort in this program, feel free to do that as well. And we will provide a link to the events and registration page in the comments of this episode. So, the Enhanced Leadership Project. Ty and I have known each other for what seems like forever. We literally met each other on the first day we entered the Army on active duty way back in the day, right after we graduated from high school. We met on a plane in O'Hare while we were on our way, both independently coming from different parts of the country, going to Alabama by way of O'Hare and Atlanta. And we ended up at Fort McClellan, Alabama for our advanced individual training and our basic training. During that time, we were not only in the same squad, but we were in the same bunks, not literally bunks. We were bunk buddies. We were bunk buddies. And we've known each other since then. We ended up getting out, successfully ending advanced individual training, and we ended up in Germany together, where we were stationed in Frankfurt, Germany, the 109th MP Company for 3 years. And since that time, we parted ways for about 20 years, from 1989 to 2009. We had gone our separate ways, but we came back together in 2009. And in the last couple of years, we've really consciously talked about work and what we can do in regard to helping others and helping other leaders. So that through the course of that discussion over the last couple of years and the episodes we've created since August of 2024, we've really fleshed out what has become the Enhanced Leadership Project. So before I go on, would you like to jump in there, Ty, about any of the introduction or about how we met or anything?
Yeah, because when we left 89, when we parted ways, as Dan said, we parted ways because he went on and stayed in the military. I got out and went home. And we had no plans of what each other was going to do. And it turns out that we both went into, we were in administration or as a teacher in the school districts for a while. Then we did other things. But the key component is before we met, we had already established our individual leadership consulting companies. And then when we met, we started talking about it again. So we're continuing to do that. And that's how the genesis of this comes together, because we're using both our individual leadership, and we both knew each other when we were younger, and we both know how we've changed over the years, but the leadership principles remain the same, although the way we deal with it or the way we promote our leadership personally may have changed in a way that we compensated or balanced out the way we were when we were younger. And that's what happens. Leadership is about an evolving system of values and standards that you have. It's not going to be the same as you were 20 years ago. It's not going to be the same as you were yesterday, because every time you have to deal with an event, it changes your perspective and you realize, okay, this is what I need to do now. And this is how I adjust. It may not be a big adjustment in one day, but it's a little bit, because it adds value to your leadership capacity. Back to you, Dan.
I appreciate you brought that up, because I work with people all the time to have them grasp the concept of leadership evolution. And our goal all the time is, next year on today's date, a year from now, I want to be better leader than I am today. And I always stress that does not make me wrong today. I could be wrong, and let's face it, I'm wrong at times. But what I'm doing as a leader today is going to be better a year from now. It doesn't by default make me wrong today. So if you constantly seek to evolve, as Ty mentioned, we were different people when we were younger, and we've evolved, but we were right for the time, right for what we knew, and right within our context. We did things right. We're just different now, and we know more about leading. We know more about following. We know more about society, and it has changed. It has caused the evolution in our individual growth. So how does what Ty does and what I do, how do they mesh? So Ty is all about active personal engagement, the internal personal development of people. And the caveat that he brings to the table all the time is, we all have to develop individually, but you've got to do it in a manner that's right for you. I can't develop internally in the same manner that Ty does, because what works for him may not work for others. For example, meditating may be your thing. Great. I've never successfully embraced that, because my mind wanders all the time and I'm constantly thinking about tasks and what's next and that type of thing. But if that's the way Ty is going to help create the inner balance and develop as an internally as a human being, great. That's great. We both have to do that, but we're going to perhaps do it a different way. Then if you look at what I bring to the table, the external actionable leadership things, I have the same caveat. We can all lead. Everybody who's viewing this or reading the transcript can lead. Guarantee you. You can grow as a leader. Guarantee it. The caveat being, the things we espouse and the things we put out there to help you become a better leader, you've got to do them in a manner that's right for you. I can't lead like Ty does. Ty can't lead like I do. It's just a fact. And I spent the vast majority of the first part of my career trying to figure out how to lead by figuring out from other leaders. Then I had an epiphany back in the 2015, give or take, like, I can't learn from other leaders because I'm not them. Once I figured that out, the confidence level rose immensely and my leadership skill set improved dramatically, because I was no longer trying to follow someone else's rules when it came to leadership. I was more comfortable leading in a manner that was right for me versus trying to lead how I saw other leaders do it. Having said that, it's easy to learn bad leadership. When you see bad leadership, even if you don't think you're a good leader, you can say, all right, note to self, when I become a leader, when I am a good leader, don't do whatever that person just did. That was bad.
It's easier to learn bad leadership than it is to learn good leadership.
Correct.
Because
once those blinders came off and I realized I've got to learn in a manner that's right for me and employ my leadership skills in a manner that's right for me within my context, aligned with my morals and ethics, that's when I became an enhanced leader. And that's what we want to help people do.
Yeah. You mentioned something. Dan had mentioned that I can't lead like him and he can't lead like me. And neither should we want to lead like somebody else. You can pick and choose characteristics of a leader and go, hey, I kind of like that. Let me see if I can make that my own. And you make it your own. It's your own. But if you copy someone, then you're going to end up being compared to that person. And you're not going to have that individual leadership element that you bring to the table. So whereas you see a characteristic that a leader has and you like it, you bring it into your own and say, how can I use this? And if you can't use it, then don't use it. Don't force it. because leadership isn't about forcing things. Leadership is about being authentic in what you do. And this is where the internal capacity and power of active personal engagement comes into play, as opposed to, or comes into play with, along with Dan's external actions. That alignment that allows you to be that person, not only in your personal life and be that leader of how you are, how you perceive things, should be also part of that actionable component of being a leader and making decisions. They need to be in alignment with each other. You can't be two separate people. You don't want to be two separate people. It's too hard. But if you're the same way when you're doing your personal life, when you're doing hanging out with your kids, when you're hanging out with your family, and when you're hanging out with your employees, as long as you keep that employer-employee boundary, but you're the same person, then it makes you more authentic, and people start looking up to you and respecting you for that. So,
and it builds trust, and that's what we all leaders want to have. So two times that come to mind that a lot of people fall into the trap of trying to be somebody they're not. Job interviews. Don't go into a job interview trying to give them the answers you think they want to hear. You give them answers that align with who you are. Because if you're right, you've found a fit and it's great. But if you try to be someone else and just give them the answers you think they want to hear, it's hard to show up on day one and be somebody else. But if you stick to who you are and you're authentic and you're hired because it's a great fit, it's pretty easy to show up day one and be yourself. And the other time I see people fail at this is when they are replacing a leader. They try to emulate what that leader has done or said. So everybody sees right through that. And it may have worked for that leader, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And odds are it won't, because you're not that leader. So those are two pitfalls that people run into all the time: interviewing and being somebody they're not, or trying to be the person that they replaced. Don't fall into that trap at all.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't. The job interview is a big thing. I've hired people, and they didn't tell me something that was instrumental for me hiring them. Say they need a certain day off each week, or they do something once a month and they need that day off. They thought they could come in and negotiate after they were hired. Say, look, by the way, I need this. That was a question in the interview process. They should have brought it up then. They go,
Yeah.
oh, yes, I'll do it. And that, yes, I'll do it thing really sandbagged them, because there was no way to accommodate them, even though it was important to them. And that's what I talk about when you got that internal alignment, that you're sitting, look, this is important to me. And an easy one is, look, I need Sunday mornings off. I go visit my grandmother or whatever, and you need it. If you're working shift work, or if you're working whatever, or I need Tuesday afternoons off. And if you're up front and you don't get the job, then it wasn't a fit for you. Because if you do get the job, but you don't get Tuesdays off, you're going to be miserable, because it's that important to you. So you make sure your fit is there. And if you true to yourself, true to how you approach things, that's when, man, the employer is going to respect you for saying, I need this time off at the beginning, instead of going, by the way, and
Right.
see how things go, and
Right.
kind of like finagle your way into getting that day off later on.
Right. Right. All right. So we've sort of at a very high level talked about how our two approaches complement one another, because we both come from the point of view that whether you're growing internally with Ty's assistance, or you're leading or becoming a better leader and getting actionable things to do through my approach, the caveat is you have to do both of those things in a manner that's right for you. Enter the Enhanced Leadership Project. So as I said previously, we are starting a new cohort on May 14th, 2025, and it'll be at 1 p.m. in the Central Standard Time in the afternoon. And if you would like to join us, feel free. There's more information on the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce events page. And again, I'll put that link in the comments section when we are done here. And we'd love to have you join us. In the meantime, if you've got questions about the program, or would like to have some more insight, feel free to reach out to either one of us. And our contact information is at the bottom of the screen. Our contact information is also on the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce website. emails, and phone numbers. So feel free to reach out. We would love to entertain a discussion to make sure this program is right for you. We're going to be flexible. The sessions will be recorded. So if there is a time that you may have to miss because of something pre-scheduled, great. That's fine. We'll have the sessions pre-recorded, or we'll record them so that you can view them at your leisure at a different time. I think I covered the high points, Ty. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, we've done the high level. Let's do a little bit of the low level, I guess. Okay. No, let's get into it a little bit.
All right.
Briefly, Dan, what I know you have your book, The Power of New Leadership, and you have 9 tenets for leadership. What I know you're going to bring in all 10 or all 9, but which ones do you think that you'll probably bring in that might pique somebody's interest that's listening right now? Yeah.
There are 4 right off the top of my head that I really love to talk about. Take care of your people, be beyond reproach, lead like King Arthur, and be the buffalo. Now, I don't want to get into all of those right now. Having said that, some of our previous episodes do delve into them a little bit, but we'll go anecdotally. We'll go through how those became important to me and examples in my life, how those manifested themselves. And we'll also go through examples how our clients and our cohort members can implement these in their world. Taking care of your people is a huge concept, and it seems so basic to so many leaders. And when I've said this to a lot of people, they're like, well, of course. But then when we start digging into what those leaders do, they realize, oh boy, I'm worried about my own 60 hours worth of week that I have to get done in 40 hours. And I'm really not too concerned about the humans who directly report to me. So once we get past that, it's a bit of a paradigm shift. We then talk about what can you do to take care of your people? And we'll go down the management path. If you've got decision-making capabilities in your organization, we're talking about benefits or schedules, whatever the case may be. And we're going to go down the leadership path and what could you do to literally take care of your people? And when we start talking about those, we'll talk about actionable things that could be implemented the next time you're at work. None of this is going to result in, here are 9 steps to follow. Go back next week and implement them sequentially. And by the end of the 9 steps, you'll be the greatest leader ever. No, there are going to be things that resonate you that you'll be able to immediately see how it connects to what you're doing and will enhance what you're doing. And there are others that we'll have to revisit on occasion to keep it in your mind, and also maybe jumpstart the thought process because it's not your go-to. Like accountability is one of the things we're going to talk about. People think accountability, they think, oh, I'm in trouble. Well, no, it's a lot broader than that. You as a human being in an organization, you're accountable to the organization, to the people above you in the organization, to the people below you, to your clients, your customers. Maybe you've got some type of board that is in charge of your organization. You're accountable to all that. So accountability starts within. So it's hard to at times grasp that and worry about that when you're literally just trying to keep your head above water and get all your tasks done on a daily basis. But leadership is not in addition to what you do as a manager or a leader. It is, the Enhanced Leadership Project is meant to enhance everything you're doing. And we can take you from where you are to a higher level of mastery, regardless of your position in an organization. Both Ty and I have successfully worked with emerging leaders in high school. We've worked with emerging and inspiring leaders at the college level. We've worked with brand new leaders in organizations. We've worked with middle level managers, and we've successfully worked with C-suite executives and helped move the needle forward. So regardless of where you are, this program is for you, and we know we can provide you quality experiences that will allow you to claim a year from now, I am a better leader because of this than I was before it. That is the goal for what we do. Our programs are also going to offer one-on-one coaching, and we're in this together. It's a great networking opportunity to expand your network, which is something else that a lot of people either ignore or don't have time to create, is a personal network, their go-to people in time of crisis, or simply, I have a question. I've got a leadership quandary and I don't know where to turn, and I don't want to talk to anybody in my organization, or I don't have anybody in my organization to talk to. We're created a network and a safe space to share those ideas and learn from one another. So that's, in a nutshell, what we're going to do with leadership. Ty's approach, the active personal engagement, again, hinges on the idea that you've got to develop internally, but you've got to do it in a manner that's right for you. You can't develop like Ty, you can't develop like I do, but you still have to do it. So Ty, give us a little bit of a closer look at what people can expect from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the way it's coming across that I'm replaying in my mind, and when I've talked to people, they're like, "Oh, so you're like a guru or something? You do this." I go, I'm probably the farthest away from meditation, holistic, new age, internal self-help person that you could probably be. But I do know the pitfalls of trying to develop from internally, and that is what I bring to the table. So one of the biggest pitfalls, and we'll talk about, are establishing what's important to you. People may think they know what's important to you. I've developed a way that we actually use what you've done in the past, and we will decide what your engaged values are. And everybody's engaged values are different. No one has the same set of engaged values. It's a term I coined during this process. And it's a way to help bridge the existential core values with the tangible things that you do every day. The other part I bring to it is your personal state. Now, this is where we get to like, oh, meditation. Dan had mentioned earlier, I don't meditate. I've tried.
That was just an example.
I know. Well, you said maybe Thai, and I said nope. I've tried yoga. Nope. I've tried aerobics. Nope. But there's certain things you do that will increase your personal state resistance, your personal state bubble. It'll increase. And we will delve into that. And the way we do that is we take a broader look, and we'll talk about the way, just brief, different languages approach the word peace. It's different conceptually than how we view it in America and how it's viewed in other countries. So we'll take a look at that. And the personal state is a huge thing. And yes, it deals with your mind and heart. You got to bring that up, because if you don't, I'd be misleading you. But it doesn't mean that's all we focus on. There are other factors that involve your personal state, whether external, internal, global, universal. The third part that we deal with is active discernment. And this is about processing, and we help develop your processing, your ability to make decisions based on all the available information. And we help increase that, because everybody's processing is different. But I guess the framework is the same. We just enhance, and this is where the active discernment component comes in. We enhance your processing power and your ability to make decisions. And it's a great program with all three of those combined in that active personal engagement. There you get where the active personal engagement comes from. That internal leadership philosophy, that foundational approach, is what enhances when we bring it together with I call them the Be the Buffalo tenets of Dan's, or your leadership capacity, your leadership program that you do, your personal leadership program. Everybody has their own leadership. What Dan and I bring to the table is we don't tell you this is the way to do it. We tell you, look at what we offer and see if you can incorporate that into your leading capacity, the way you lead. If you could pick one thing from us, it's going to be phenomenal what changes in your life. And so this is why this program is for everyone. Whether you're a new leader, whether you're 18, whether you're 88, it'll come out and you'll have a great time. It's a wonderful program. And we just look forward to seeing you and helping others, because that's what we do.
Excellent summary. And I'd like to elaborate a bit. Ty's internal approach and my external actionable leadership tenets do not exist exclusive of one another. Using Ty's example of active discernment, when you're in the decision-making process, just off the top of my head, 3 specific tenets that we're going to talk about, leadership tenets, help me and will help you in these in active discernment. Specifically, everything you do, every decision you make, take care of your people. I know that sounds very basic, but people sometimes forget about that. And be beyond reproach. Some people are wired to be beyond reproach all the time. Some people need a gentle nudge and reminder at the time. So take care of your people, be beyond reproach, and finally lead like King Arthur. We'll get more on that into the program. But those 3 tenets align perfectly with what Ty is talking about with active discernment. And when we incorporate the idea of active discernment with those actionable leadership items, you're going to be a more complete leader, and dare I say, you will be an enhanced leader. So that's what the program's all about. Again, we are starting our first cohort on May 14th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you would like more information, go to the Veterans Chamber of Commerce website, and under the events page, you can find our program and a registration tab. If you have questions about the program, you'd like to learn more before deciding to join us, feel free to reach out to either one of us. Our emails are at the bottom of the screen. And I think I covered everything.
Yes, everything in the world is covered.
Yeah, so say again?
I said, yes, everything in the world is covered.
Yeah, that's how comprehensive our program is. The entire world was just covered with those statements. So regardless of who you are, what your position is in the organization, or what your level of leadership mastery is, we know we can help move the needle and get you closer to mastering the art of leadership, and you will become an enhanced leader. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Our contact information also can be found on the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce website. Again, the link will be in the comments. And if you want to email us, at the bottom of the screen is our email scrolling across. You can also DM us directly on LinkedIn. But we welcome any and all leaders from any and all walks of life and industry, private, public, nonprofit, whatever your situation is, we can help you become an enhanced leader so that next year at this time, you can say, I am a better leader now than I was a year ago. There's our goal, and we can help accomplish that. So look forward to working with you if you join us, and please pay attention to our future posts. We're going to be advertising this. If you have any questions about those or something may pique your interest, feel free to reach out and jump on board. The slots are limited. So first come, first serve. We'll see where it goes. So any final thoughts, Ty?
No, I think we've established the program, information that we needed to convey today. And I am just so excited to team up with the WVCC in this cohort business. So we are just can't wait for 2 weeks from now.
Right.
4 weeks.
I hear you. I'm excited as well. And until that time, it's just Ty and I are sitting around talking about leadership. And the great news is everybody who's watching this can do it. Good luck.